The job summary form is an important tool in the capture of data that you'll use to analyze your business. What is the job summary form? Well, it's a technician debriefing form, or better said, an exit interview that you'll perform with the technician at the end of a job. It allows you to capture key performance data in real time and then report on that data in real time as well. There are a number of reports that are affected by the job summary form, including the job summary analysis form and the job scorecard reports. You'll also be able to make use of the data captured in the job summary form in our new KPI Manager, and you'll see it reflected in the Advanced 2000 Company Scoreboard. If you've been using the job summary form in the past, you'll notice some changes. We've added a new tabbed layout to make access to the data a little bit easier. We've also added a field called Reporting Job Class. We've enhanced the total ticket calculations to take a little bit of the burden off you. And we've added a new section for tech credits. Let's take a look. The job summary form can be opened in 3 ways: from the job form, from the invoice form, or from the dispatch board. When you've opened the job form, right-click. Then select Job Summary from the drop-down menu. If the job has already been completed and closed, you'll need to click the Edit button at the bottom of the job summary form. When opening the job summary form from an invoice, you'll need to right-click in the top portion of the form. And again, select Job Summary from the drop-down menu. Remember, if the job is already closed, you'll need to click the Edit button at the bottom of the form. Lastly, you can right-click on an appointment on the dispatch board. And again, select Job Summary from the drop-down menu. Now let's take a look at some of the information that we capture in the job summary form. The first tab you'll be presented with is the Job Info tab. This tab allows you to classify the job in a number of different ways using checkboxes and contains a new field called the Reporting Job Class. This field was added to aid those of you who are members of trade organizations that run daily management reports or daily management essential reports. By selecting a value, you'll be able to identify where you want the data from this job to fall within those reports. The Reporting Job Class can be used as a grouping option when running reports in the KPI Manager. The values that come pre-populated in the list match those of the HVAC, plumbing, and electrical management reports used by our clients. As with every drop-down list, you have the ability to modify the list. The other checkboxes on the Job Info tab allow you to indicate the type of job that was performed and what you did on that job. So, if you performed a diagnostic, if this was a warranty call, if this was contract maintenance, or if this job was a callback, you can select that value. And if it is a callback, select the job that you were called back upon. Remember, in the job summary form, as with every form, you can hit F1 and have a listing of all of the fields in the form and what values they represent. The Notes tab will allow you to see the job instructions that were originally created for this job, as well as record work done and work suggested notes. The Invoice Info tab allows you to record performance data from the job, including the total job value. The job value may not be the same as the invoice total. On a job where you perform a maintenance visit that has deferred revenue recognized, the invoice total may be 0, but we still want that technician to see credit for the work performed. We've made modifications to this area to make that simpler. You're going to enter in your invoice total, and you're going to be able to see the value of any maintenance visits that were performed. There's an area that lets you identify amounts on the invoice that may have been charged to agreements or charged to warranties. And there's even an area that allows you to identify agreements sold that are going to be deferred, and you don't want to count on the value of this particular job. The total job value field will then be automatically calculated based upon the values that you've entered above. It's used in a number of reports to generate average ticket and total revenue. On the right-hand side of the form, you'll identify the money task account. This is the number of repairs that were performed by the technician beyond the diagnostic charge, and they count towards his money job closing rate. You also can identify the number of repairs performed beyond the original reason for being there in the add-on count field and identify the value of those add-ons. You can identify the billable hours of work performed and the amount collected. Finally, you can record payment information that you've received from the technician, including the method of payment and any other values such as check number or digits of the credit card number. This information will carry over to the invoice for this job. The Opportunities tab represents a number of areas that let you identify whether or not a tech took advantage of the chances that existed on the job. In the Agreement Opportunity area, you have the ability to identify whether or not an agreement was sold. The Agreement Opportunity checkbox will automatically be there if the customer does not have an existing agreement. The Replacement Opportunity area allows you to identify whether or not you considered this job to be an opportunity for replacement and whether one was sold. Same with an extended warranty opportunity and whether or not one was sold. In the lower portion of the form, you also have the chance to identify any marketing opportunities that arose on the job. You can select that opportunity and even identify a date for follow-up with that customer and add notes. These opportunities can then be tracked and even followed up with through the Opportunity Manager. The Tech Credit tab is a newly added area to the job summary form. This was also added for the sake of those of you who are running daily management reports or daily management essential reports. It allows for you to identify a technician who may have quoted an opportunity on the job and whether or not that opportunity sold. It allows you to classify that under a particular reporting sales source, and this matches the different areas of those daily management reports. As with the reporting job class, the reporting sales source is available as a grouping option in the KPI Manager. And while the list is pre-populated based upon the existing daily management reports, you can modify the list to your own needs. The final tab of the job summary form allows you to identify whether or not you performed a happy check or follow-up phone call with the customer. When you've done so, you can checkmark the field, identify the date and the user, and record notes related to that call. The Happy Check Report, which is found under the Job Call Report section in the Report Gallery, will let you see the performance of your technicians in those happy checks. Now that we've seen the data entry required, let's take a look at some of the reports that make use of that data. The first report we'll take a look at is the Job Summary Analysis Report. This is found under Management Reports in the Report Gallery. The job summary analysis can be run for any date range. I'm just going to run it for a single date. And I'm not going to run it with any particular filtering options. As you can see, the report has gathered the information from the job summary forms and calculated a total revenue ticket, an average ticket, an amount collected, and all of this information is coming from those job summary forms. We also see how many agreement opportunities along with those sold, how many replacement opportunities versus those sold, and so on. This same report can be used to present the data grouped by department or by technician. If we group by technician, we'll see a breakdown of all the jobs run for that particular technician in the date range of the report, and each will display total revenue, average ticket, agreement opportunities, and so forth for that tech. The next report is also found on the Management Reports tab, and it's called the Job Scorecard Report. The Job Scorecard Report allows me to look at information grouped, again, by technician, by department. We're going to go with technician here, for any particular date range, even a comparative between two date ranges. I've just set up a single day's worth of data, so we're going to select that particular day and run the report. What the job scorecard does that's a little bit different than the job summary is it breaks down the data and gives ratios. So in this case, we can look at how many jobs were run by the technician, how many of those were money jobs, again meaning that he sold beyond the diagnostic, And then a little ways down, see a closing ratio for that tech, 50% for money jobs, and 50% of his jobs he upsold an add-on. Again, we also see things like total ticket, averages, and all the other information that we saw in the job summary analysis, but here it's really nicely displayed on a per technician basis where I can compare one against the other. Also within SuccessWare, you'll see that the KPI Manager makes use of the values that are coming from the job summary form, along with a number of other KPI elements. The KPI Manager has a data dictionary that is going to list all of the different KPIs, and there's a nice little definition here that tells you exactly where the information comes from. So you can see here is information coming from the job summary. These values can be compiled into data sets that you take a look at and view that information for any date range that you'd like to see. Now, I've put together a little data set here. Again, we'll just run it for that particular date. And again, you'll see a breakdown here of the agreement data, opportunities versus those sold, sale amounts, average tickets, how many diagnostic-only jobs, and so forth. This is a data set that I created. You have the ability to create your own using the values that are coming from those KPIs. And for those of you who are in organizations that have daily management reports, daily management essentials, we've built initial versions of those reports in here for you. So all you have to do is pick the date, run the report, as long as you're filling in that job summary form. Another place that you'll find the values in the job summary form used is in the Advanced 2000 Company Scoreboard. This scoreboard gives you performance data for your business and down to the technician level. We can see values like total revenue and average ticket and number of clubs sold, and those are coming right from those accumulated job summary values. The tech performance page is going to include values like number of diagnostic-only jobs and money job closing rate, again coming right from that job summary form. So you can see filling in that job summary gives you a lot of information about the performance of your business. We hope you found this walkthrough helpful. Remember, if you have questions about any of the individual values in the job summary form, you can always press F1 to see a listing of all of its fields and definitions. And as always, you can call our support team at 888-251-2779.